Here we are at Taft Athletic Club, as promised, getting ready to tighten this disgusting dad body up. Let's go. Okay, today we're going to start with some stretching and the bike. Hi everybody, welcome to Life of Larry Back-A-House. Yesterday my son and I posted Life of Larry LOL, and that's the main podcast telling the story of my life, which my son inspired me to do when he bought me a book for Christmas that said, "Dad, I want to hear your story." So this is the result of that. But Life of Larry Back-A-House has a different intent. It's going to show you some behind the scenes aspects of Life of Larry, the business side of Life of Larry, and then also some personal sides of Life of Larry that you won't see in the Life of Larry LOL podcast. So we're up here in Taft Athletic Club, and what's this about a disgusting dad body? Well, we're here to take care of that, and that's part of the story. I'll be telling you all about that as we go through this. But today, let's start with some stretching. I always start by stretching, and I'll take you through that routine here in a minute. Part of the back of the house is to talk to seniors one-on-one. So part of what I'm doing, I'm 72 years old now, I want to be the example for other seniors about both getting in shape and monitoring my diet to lose a little weight. So those things are important to me, and I want to share those to other seniors at this point in their life. I need to get in shape because my son and I are going to be doing a bicycle ride from San Diego to Disneyland in October, and that's to raise funds to kick off Life of Larry. So let's get through some stretching exercises right now. So everything hurts. I actually had a stroke a little more than a year ago, so I have neuropathy in my right leg, which complains quite a bit when I do this kind of stretching. But stretching is the key, especially if you haven't worked out in many years and you don't want to injure yourself. So I talked about a bike ride. I've done this a couple times in my life, riding bikes for people that needed help. I first did it in the 1970s when I was a sailor on the USS Ajax. And the Old Globe Theater burnt down in Balboa Park in San Diego. So I rode my bicycle from San Diego to Los Angeles and back. And when I got back, I was knighted by Queen Elizabeth. Well, actually an actress portraying Queen Elizabeth, but still it was very exciting. And then later in my life, in my 40s, there was a lady who, her husband worked for me. I was in the Navy at that time, and she had breast cancer, and she was getting experimental chemotherapy, which at the time insurance didn't cover. So for that one, I organized two bike rides from San Diego to Los Angeles and back, and then rode from San Diego to Las Vegas. And altogether, we raised $17,000, and the hospital, they owed $25,000. The hospital forgave the rest. So I've done this a couple of times in my life. The first time I was young and good looking. The second time I was in my 40s and wondered if I could do it. And now I'm in my 70s and wondering if I can do it again. This time for launching Life of Larry. And if you haven't seen the first podcast of Life of Larry, we released it yesterday. So just look for Life of Larry LOL. And then, like I said, for these episodes, these are Life of Larry Back of House. Okay, this is the hardest part. All right, time to warm up on the bike. Okay, here we go. So I've done these rides before, and I rode into my 40s bicycle pretty regularly, but really not since then. So it's been a few decades since I've ridden a bike in earnest, and we're going to be doing a 120-mile ride. And the thing about that is you have to be in the saddle. It takes saddle time to get ready for that. And we've only got a few months. October's about 3 months away now for that ride. So both my son and I are spending time on the bike in the saddle. It's really important. So Life of Larry, if you go take a look at the podcast, you'll get an idea of what it's about. But I've done a lot of things in my life. I've been blessed. I was in the Navy and flew in the F-14 4 times. Worked at Disneyland for 10 years, never lost my pixie dust. Also, my father was a genius in motorcycling, Indians and Harleys. You might know his name, Stan Deschamps. The fundraising side is very important because we have to travel. And we want to take you, our audience, with us to go see the aircraft carrier in the F-14, to go to Disneyland and let me walk you through the attractions and tell you what story you're seeing on each ride, to go to Bonneville and the drag strips where my dad lived. So we need to travel to go do that, including this fundraiser we're having is 120 miles from San Diego to Disneyland. And I live in Oregon. My wife lives in Oregon. She's our camera person. And then my son Trevor lives in Texas. So we all have to fly there. We have to stay for a few days. But, we need to raise money to do that. And into the future, we're going to be traveling a lot. Life of Larry is going to take you everywhere. We're going to be very economical about how we spend those monies that we raise in this effort, either through Patreon or GoFundMe. And you'll see right above me, there's QR codes to do both. It's also important to like and subscribe. I'm not sure that many podcasters take the time to explain to you why. Because YouTube will elevate Life of Larry. Life of Larry belongs at the top of YouTube. I'm sure you'll agree. They do that based on their algorithm of how many people are viewing, how many people are liking, how many people are subscribing. That's the key benefit of that. It doesn't cost you anything, but that's the benefit to the creator. The other barcode is to go to Patreon and join up as a monthly subscriber. This is how we build our base. We get people in behind us that support what we're doing. Then we can travel and start bringing you some very exciting podcast videos. So that's what we're asking for today. Okay, let's head down and get on the machines because that's where the real work is. See you down there. We are headed into the machines. We'll start with the leg press and I'll take you around the room in a high-speed exercise routine. Okay, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed that high-speed workout. I know I did. And it's time now to get on the exercise bike for cool down. In the opening of the podcast, I talked about how we were going to be efficient about how we spend the money that you donate for us to do this travel. We're going to knock out multiple videos on each trip. So for San Diego, we're going to go to the USS Midway, walk that aircraft carrier, go up and look at the F-14. I'm going to show my son how the troubleshooters walked that aircraft while it was running before it launched on the catapult. We're also going to get the 4 dudes back together. The 4 of us were a bowling team, and we ended up winning the league that year. But we have some great stories to tell about that. And then also the bike ride itself. So we're going to have video along the way. We might even live stream parts of it so you can come along with us on the ride. And then when we get to Disneyland, we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you some stuff you may not already know about. So we're really excited about this project. My son asked me to tell him my story, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And there's a lot to tell. So in the meantime, I got to get this disgusting dad body ready for the ride. So please, I got 3 QR codes up above me now. One is for a GoFundMe. That's really to raise the bulk of the money quickly so we can make that bike ride in October. There's Patreon, which you can start right now. That's for the long game to fund us going to different locations, drag strips, up to Dishong Street. Yeah, my dad owned that street where his cycle shop was. So there's a lot to show you, a lot to travel and go see, and I want you to come with us. So that's what Patreon is for. But then also, like I talked about earlier, the other QR code is for liking and subscribing to the channel. Okay, let's go.